Hello kids, I'm Priyanka and I'm back again with a new chapter, The Great Adventure. The students of Tamoy each had a tree in a school ground. They considered it as their own climbing tree. Toto Chan tree stood on the edge of the school ground near the fence. It was a large tree and slippery to climb, but if you climbed it skillfully, you could get to the fork about 6 feet above from the ground. The fork was as comfortable as the hammock. Toto Chan used to climb there during recess and after school. She could sit on the fork and look into the distance or at the sky or watch the people pass by. The children considered their trees their own private property. If you wanted to climb someone else's tree, you had to seek their permission very politely, saying, "Excuse me, may I come in?" The invasion. Yashuki Chan had polio. He had never climbed a tree, so he couldn't claim any tree as its own. That is why Toto Chan decided to invite him to her tree. They kept it secret. They thought the people could create a fuss if they knew. When she felt home, Toto Chan told her mother that she was going to visit Yashuki Chan at his home. She was telling a lie, so she tried not to look at mother. She kept her eyes on her shoelace. Rocky, her dog, followed her to the station. When they parted company, she told Rocky the truth. I'm going to let Yashuki chan climb my tree. When Toto chan reached the school, she found Yashuki chan waiting in the school ground. He was only a year older than Toto chan, but he always sounded much older when he spoke. When Yashuki chan saw Toto chan, he hurried towards her, dragging his legs and holding his arms out of in front of steadily himself. Toto chan was thrilled to think they are going to do something secret, and she giggled. Yashuki chan giggled too. Toto chan led Yashuki chan to her tree. Then she ran to the nearby shed and got a ladder. She dragged it over to the tree and leaned it in against the trunk so that it reached the fork. She climbed up quickly and holding the top of the ladder, called down, "All right, try climbing up." Yashuki chan arms and legs were very weak. She seemed he could not even get on the first running without help. Toru-chan hurried down the ladder and tried to push Yashuki-chan up from behind. Yashuki-chan took his foot on the bottom rung. He stood beside the ladder with his head bowed. Toru-chan realized that it was going to be very difficult. What should she do? She launched to get Yashuki-chan climb her tree. He was also looking forward to it. She went around and faced him. He looked cheerless. Toru-chan puffed out her cheeks and made funny faces to cheer him up. "Wait, I have got an idea." Toru-chan ran back to the shed and pulled out many things, one after another. She looking for something that could help her. She finally discovered a step ladder. It could remain steady so she could not have to hold it. She dragged the step ladder over the tree and she was amazed at her own strength. She was happy to find that the ladder almost reached the fork. "Now, don't be afraid," she said in a big sisterly voice. "This isn't going to be a wobble." Yashiki-chan looked nervously at the step ladder. He looked at Todo-chan. She was drenched in perspiration. Yashuki-chan was sweating too. He looked up at the tree. Then, with the determination, he placed a foot on the first rung. They were not aware of the time it took Yashuki-chan to reach the top of the step ladder. The hot summer sun beat down, but they thought only about getting to the top of the step ladder. Toto-chan followed him, lifting his feet up. Yashugi-chan struggled with all his might and finally reached at the top. "Hooray!" Toto-chan jumped on to the fork, but she could not get Yashuki-chan into the tree because the step ladder. She wanted so badly to have Yashuki-chan into the tree. She wanted to show him all the sort of things. Clutching the step ladder, Yashuki-chan looked at Toto-chan. She suddenly felt like crying, but she didn't cry. She feared that if she did, Yashuki-chan might start crying too. She took hold on his hand. It was bigger than her, and his fingers were longer too. They were all stuck together because of the polio. She led his hand for a long time. Then she said, "Lie down, I'll try to pull you over." If any grown ups had seen the scene, they would have let out a scream, but Yashuki chan trusted Toru chan completely. Toru chan has risking her life for him. With her tiny hands clutching his, she pulled him all her might. From time to time, she large cloud would mercifully protect him from the blister sun. At last the two stood face to face on the tree, blushing her hair black. Toru-chan bowed politely to him and said, "Welcome to my tree." Yoshiki-chan leaned against the trunk, smiling rather bashfully, and said, "May I come in?" On the top of the world, Yashuki chan was able to see vista he had never glimpsed before. "So, this is what it's like to climb a tree," he happily said. They stayed on the tree for a long time and talked about all sort of things. "My sister in America says they have got something there called television," said Yashuki Chan with enthusiasm. "She says that when it comes to Japan, we'll be able to sit at home and watch sumo wrestling. She says it's like a box. She simply wondered how sumo wrestler could get inside a box in your own house." Sumo wrestlers are so big, but it was fascinating at all the same. In those days, nobody knew about television. Yashuki chan was forced to tell Toru chan about it. The cicadas were singing, and all the two children were so happy. And for Yasuki chan, it was the first and the last time he ever climbed tree. Thank you.